I go to the association, which is 21 years old. Here, let me show you what's in here. These are all the different filters that I can actually work with. But let me just show you the solds. I'm going to go all categories, okay? All counties, all time frames. I'm not putting any dates in here, okay? But let me just show you what I'm pulling from so you understand what I'm saying. These are all the different pages and pages of businesses. There were 24,000, let's call it, 23,891. If I hit all, we'd have pages and pages and pages. It would jam up my computer. So what we do is we go to what's relevant. We're going to go to only Miami, and then we're going to go to only beauty. Let's just go there. I could go further because there are subcategories, okay? But I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to say submit selection, beauty, Miami, all time frames, all 21 years, okay? Barbershops, hair removal, all of them, 120. Okay, so let me bring all 120 onto the page, okay, all 120, and then I'm going to sort it by the adjusted net. This is how the businesses are actually sold. So over here you have 7,800 and 7,000, right? 70,000. If you have zero or negative's even worse. This is what they're selling for. In Miami, anything to do with beauty. With 245,000 in assets, it's sold for $245,000. Because you're not selling a business at that point, you're just selling the assets. 20,000 in assets, making no money, sold for $20,000. 80 sold for 25. Now, this could be because they were talking about new value versus actual value, used value. That's the reason. In other words, the owner might have given the listing agent new value, never changed it, and then it sold for 25 because they agreed it's only $25,000 worth of actual, eBay value items, all right? Assets of 125, and it sold for 125. So I'm going to say the assets were 125,000. He just didn't put the 000. Sold for 125. 90,000 in assets, making no money, sold for 90. 750 sold for 750. 65 sold for 65. 75 sold for 75. 75, 75, 80, 80, 55, 55. Okay, you get the point. That's really what we have. We have assets to sell. So from memory, I think your equipment, you didn't sign off on it yet, but if I remember, it's about $8,000 worth of used furniture, fixtures, and equipment. That's what you're worth. Okay, that's what you should expect buyers and sellers to be trading at. However, these people tried in the same situation. They had no profit. This was 0, 0, 0, 0. You have 0, 0, 0. You have a negative situation. And what happened was they sold. Now there were others that didn't sell. There was probably 10 times more of this that didn't have profit, that didn't sell. But the ones that succeeded, right? It was a desirable lease. It was a desirable location, good quality equipment, priced properly. The ones that succeeded in selling only were able to charge what the value of the used assets were. We're going to try and do better for you, but I don't think 135 is going to happen, okay? Let's go back again and look at solds. I'm going to look here. Let's do all Florida, okay? I'm going to let even more in. All beauty, all Florida. But what I want to do is maximum gross sales of 100,000 because that's where you are. That's really where you're at the moment. All sources of data, pro forma, okay? Let's see. There were 5 of them, okay? Adjusted net, boom, boom, boom. And if I come up with a ratio from their pro forma, 1.8 years their pro forma. So that means this number, 78, right? Call it even 2 years earnings. You're looking at about a $14,000 sale. And it took 6 months to achieve, right? So here, 2.25 from a guess, from not real numbers. This took 496 days. See, because people want this. They want the lifestyle. So you're saying you're going to make 70 grand if you work for free for a year and a half, and 70 grand over here would be worth 1.8 times the 70. That's if that actually ever happens, and if somebody believes it. But they're really going to be buying over here because they have to get through they have to get through all the landmines of 2022 to ever make it to 2023. So even if we took 70,000 by 1.8, You're looking at 126,000 and you're asking 135. I think we're way high. But we can certainly do, you want to burn up a few months on the market, we can certainly do it. This is sold, again, beauty, owner approved. Let's do it this way. Let's say the numbers really happened and we want to see what they actually sold for here. 59. I'm going to do, this is all tanning salon. I know it's not exact. If the numbers really were on the books, under $100,000 in gross, an average of 1.6, and it takes 211 days with a 90% down payment. So you certainly want to offer a better, more attractive down payment. And less than 1.59, gosh, I mean, we're really stretching here if we say 70,000, because 70,000 did not happen. So even, I'm going to take the number, it's 70 by 1.59 puts you at 111. I don't see how you could even ask more than 100, because this may never happen. It's a year and a half in the future. They've got to get through a dry spell. It's going to be negative cash flow for sure. And if this happened, you're still only worth 1.5 years earnings. And because it didn't happen, I don't even see how you can get this. You'd be on the low end of the spectrum. That's where I'm at. I would say don't even ask for more than 100 grand or 75. 1 year earnings of maybe this projected earnings. It's a tough one, but I don't see how you can get 135. It's not a profitable business. There is no security for a buyer. There is no track record. There's no guarantee that this will ever happen. Even if this happened, there's a year and a half of negative cash carrying costs, right? Which is what you're trying to avoid. And they're going to want to avoid it too. So to compare our business to somebody who actually has that track record is not a comparison. It's just not. That's like saying I'm going to build a new car, versus my name is Mercedes and we build good cars. The down payment, certainly you want to be more attractive. And also, I don't see how 135 is justifiable. Your furniture, fixtures, and equipment, don't justify it. Your 21, which is what this says, won't justify it because it's a multiple. Even if it was 1.5 times your 2021, it's a negative number. And if it's 1.5 times your 2022, you're under 20 grand. And if you're over here at 1.5 times, if that's the right number, which I can lock in on, you're still under 100 grand. Okay, because this hasn't happened. And how much is going to cost them to first earn this? Maybe. It's an extremely high risk. And that's why people buy recycled businesses, is because they don't want to take the risk. I'm as transparent as possible. Thank you.